I want to start where we started the last segment. All this consolidation in the industry, is it good for regular people?
Well, at the end of the day, I think that being able to spread the fixed costs for these businesses across a much bigger base of bookings, Priceline will do 500 million-ish room nights this year, Expedia 300 million-ish. That enables them to reinvest the profits from that in more innovative services for consumers. So I happen to be in the camp that this is a positive thing for consumers, not a negative thing for consumers.
So you're an investor in Hotel Tonight, so maybe you can talk to us a little bit about what you're thinking about last-minute bookings.
Yeah, Hotel Tonight is taking advantage of the fact that we have a massive platform disruption going on. Obviously, mobile is the most significant thing, perhaps, since the invention of the Internet itself. And Hotel Tonight is seeing and servicing consumers who want that last-minute booking. And so they've grown incredibly fast, notwithstanding the giants like Expedia and Orbitz and Priceline. And so I imagine that will continue as more and more people have these supercomputers in our pockets.
Mighty Google has been eyeing the travel, the OTA market quite seriously. Of course, there was the acquisition of ITA a few years ago. They're integrating hotel booking features right into the search engine. How disruptive can Google be to this market and to some of your portfolio companies?
Right. So the first 15 years of the Internet were really defined by search as a paradigm. We all started our search and navigation in Google. Today, we started on our smartphones. And so I think in a post-Google world, actually search becomes less relevant, not more relevant, in the way that we shop and buy our travel. So it gives an opportunity for vertical travel apps that can get on the phone, on the home screen of the phone for consumers, an opportunity to compete very effectively with Google. So they'll continue to be relevant, but I think mobile apps today are going to be much more significant than search in terms of driving those consumer bookings.
And quick follow-up, how closely is the industry watching Google's activity here in terms of tying its own travel services into search results?
Well, of course, everything they do is scrutinized. If you look in Asia, Baidu's acquisition of Qunar is a much closer tie-up where Baidu, in fact, owns the vertical search application for travel. I think that would be much more difficult for Google to do in the U.S.
So turning in a little bit on the activity space, which has been this forgotten area. It's a $100 billion global market, but it's something that you haven't seen much activity until more recently. What do you think about this space?
Right. So I think as we move to on-demand mobile purchases where we can optimize our travel experiences in location, I think it will really start to gain a lot of momentum for the activity space. We're seeing people in location who want to find that guide, who want to find that special service, who want to find that special restaurant. Now they have their phone in their pocket, they can do that. And so I think companies like Peak that are enabling these transactions will become increasingly relevant to consumers who have an on-demand expectation.
Okay, Brad, hang on one moment. I want to bring in Lonely Planet CEO Daniel Houghton, who is also with us today via Skype. Daniel, we're talking about these sea changes in the travel business. Talk about how Lonely Planet, of course, people know you guys primarily and historically as a guidebook publisher, how you are adjusting to this new environment.
Sure. So we actually have a kind of a long history in the digital space. We were one of the first probably 25 websites on the internet in the 90s. So we've kind of been in it for a long time in kind of different ways. So look, as the industry has changed, obviously much more importance has been placed on the digital side of the business. And we don't even look at ourselves as a book publisher. You can see 500 titles behind me that we publish in 9 languages and selling in about 150 countries. But we really look at ourselves as a brand and a content business. Books is a part of that. The digital kind of ecosystem is a part of that. So it's always been important for us, but it has required that our business kind of, constantly shift to adapt to those new environments. I mean, you look at my iPhone in my pocket is the same size as one of our pocket guides, except it has, 19 satellites at its command. What an amazing tool for the traveler.
Great. So, what do you think about the Airbnb effect in this space? Obviously it's impacting your business, and perhaps Brad can chime in on this as well.
Look, I think Airbnb is an amazing thing that's obviously come to to prominence here in the last couple of years. It's I've had several great experiences with Airbnb. I think it's interesting to us because we're trying to guide people to have unique experiences. That's what Lonely Planet is all about. We kind of survey the earth on behalf of people that travel, and Airbnb kind of it's just their whole ethos is to provide that, local experience. So we're big fans.
Brad, how disruptive is Airbnb to the travel market?
I mean, marketplaces in general. I mean, Ubers to taxis, Airbnb to the accommodations market. But I really view it as incremental. Hotels continue to grow quickly. Priceline, Expedia continue to grow quickly, notwithstanding the fact that Airbnb is on a rocket ship in terms of changing the way we travel and stay.
Right. And one company we haven't mentioned, of course, a company that I follow a lot is Amazon, right? Over the past few months have started to integrate travel bookings. Do you feel like that's a model that fits with the Amazon paradigm?
I think at the end of the day, they have to provide something unique. Just getting into the travel business, I think, without leveraging Prime or something else, I don't think is going to work. In fact, Amazon, most people forget, tried to get into travel 15 years ago and ultimately decided to get out of their partnership with Expedia after it really failed to gain consumer traction. But in other parts of the world, in Japan, in Korea, in China, we're seeing those horizontal marketplaces like Amazon get into travel successfully. So if they tailor it, it can work.
Do you think that vertically approaching kind of these markets makes you kind of more able to have success? In travel, being able to be just the play for hotels, being able to be just the play for activities.
It's a great question. In 1997, we went to a few portals. And then as Google became the navigation of choice, we went to specialty stores because we could find everything through Google. In a post-search world, where we only have room for a few apps on our phone, I think we're going to see the reportalization, where people expect those apps to do multiple things to create that perfect trip. If you look at what's going on in China, Qunar is doing everything from booking tickets at movie theaters to booking your trip to your taxi ride to the airport to booking your air and your hotel.
Daniel, is this an opportunity for you guys? Talk about your progress in getting a Lonely Planet app on an iPhone or an Android phone.
Certainly. I mean, it's an opportunity for us because, we're not specifically in the hotel space or specifically in the activity space. We have a lot to do with a lot of those things. You can book a lot of those things on our platform, and we partner with a lot of the companies that, you guys have been talking about here in the segment. So for us, it's about, we've got people on our platform when they're just dreaming about somewhere to go, and we're helping inspire them and curate that experience. So we want to be a part of that entire travel process, as we have been for 40 years. And, how that happens on mobile is obviously a huge opportunity. We have several things in our portfolio and are working on several more and hiring. So come join us if you're in that space. But we've got a lot of great things happening there, and it is an amazing opportunity for that. And it is certainly, like I said, a great way to reach those people. And, you guys are talking about China. Our books are flying off the shelves in China, and the opportunity in the digital space there is massive. I think whether that's China, whether it's India, or some of these other, the effect that mobile booking and kind of the curation of travel information has on places like that, especially in countries that skipped kind of the desktop computer phase that we all went through, I think is just an amazing opportunity for anyone involved in that space.